Good morning. I'm so happy that I can make another video this morning. The last video is 3 weeks ago, and although there's nothing I like to do more than making a video, I had to take care of other important things in work. And now 3 weeks are gone, and I can't believe it. With this video I want to start a trilogy, a pack of 3 videos where I talk about my personal life. In the first video, in today's video, I want to talk about Samarpan Meditation and how I practically integrate Samarpan Meditation into my life and what that means to me, all the practical details and aspects of it, and also how I experience it personally. In the second video, I would like to share with you about what I call my spiritual life, how my life is practically from a spiritual point of view. And in the third video, I want to talk about the practical physical life. How does my life look like? How do I live in the life out there in the world, with the people, with work? And I rarely do this. I rarely share these details about my own life for 2 reasons. The one reason is that I don't want you to get the impression that you should do it like I do. As humans, we like to copy from each other, and that's okay. That's how we learn. That's how we get inspired. But very quickly, we make rules out of this. Very quickly we think, I must do it like him. And if I don't, or if I can't, or if I don't want to, then there's something wrong with me. And because I know this tendency, I'm usually very careful with sharing specifics about how I do things, because I want to encourage you to do everything your way. I would like to inspire you so you can discover your own way of living, your own way of meditating. I want you to discover your way of spiritual life and of practical life. But we inspire each other. And everything I share has not grown on my own wisdom. I heard it from my spiritual master, Soham, or from my guru, Swamiji. But I have a very special way of listening to these saints. I don't know, it was always easy for me, natural for me to do it like this. Whenever I saw them do something, or whenever I heard them talk about something which touched me, I thought, oh, interesting, this I want to try too. I never took it as a rule. I always felt completely free and free to be the way I am. So I just tried it out, and many of the things became a part of my life. Sometimes I heard them say things or see them do things which did not resonate with me, so I just forgot it without feeling bad about it. But I noticed over the years again and again that most other people are not this way. Most other people take things very specific. They think, oh, he does it this way. This means I must do it the same way. And that's unfortunate. It's not necessary. But because we inspire each other, I want to share in these 3 videos my personal way of living in these 3 areas of life. And I will frequently remind you of the fact that these are just sharings. And you can pick whatever you feel like. You can pick that what you feel resonance with, that what you feel interest or curiosity for. And it might very well be that there are certain things I share with you where you feel no resonance at all. Then just forget them. And maybe, who knows, maybe in a few years or in 10 years from now, you watch the same video again, and then you feel total resonance for these things, which are of no interest to you today. That's just how life works. So this is like a buffet for you. Pick whatever you find interesting and just ignore all the rest. Yeah, in this first video of this trilogy, I want to share about Samarpan meditation and how I practically do it and integrate it into my life. Samarpan meditation is brought by Swamiji. Swamiji is the guru I am a disciple of, and he was roaming around the Himalayas many times for many years, and he met a number of gurus and sages there, and from there he brought Samarpan meditation into society. And I picked up this meditation 7.5 years ago, and since then I do it every day. And it has changed me, and it has changed my life. And before I go into any details about my personal experiences in my personal life with Samarpan meditation, I want to give you a brief overview, a very brief summary, how this meditation is being done. And it's very simple. There's not much to know about it. But before I begin this, let me add this. I am not an official spokesman of Samarpan meditation. I'm just a meditator, a normal person, just like you. And you can go directly to those people who are officially authorized to speak about Samarpan meditation. In most countries, there is some Samarpan meditation organization. Most countries also have a website. And there you can go and connect to those people in your country, and you get first-hand information. There are videos also from Swamiji who described Samarpan meditation. So, you can go directly to the source and inform you there. I will now tell you how Samarpan meditation is done, how I do it, but this should not be a replacement for you going directly to the source. Because, I tend to forget things. I try to give you the information as clean and as authentic as I can, but, I'm a human being. I will make mistakes. Maybe I forget things. So, and you can go on my website. On my website, on the Samarpan meditation page, I collected all kinds of information about this meditation, and I present you there a number of links which will directly lead you to the official websites, to the official information where you can inform yourself. So this being said, let me tell you the few things there are which you should know about Samarpan meditation. It's totally simple. Practically, it works like this. You just sit down. If you can, you sit down on the floor. If you cannot do this, sit on a chair with your feet on the ground, naked feet if you can tolerate this. And then you just sit there and you close your eyes. And what you do for half an hour is that you go with your attention, with your inner attention, to the highest spot of your skull here. This is the spot the Indians call the crown chakra. And with your inner attention, you go to this spot of your body, just this physical spot you can touch, nothing esoteric, nothing strange. And you rest there with your attention for half an hour. If you like, you can take your flat hand, place it on your head, and you do 3 circles clockwise here on the highest spot of your skull. And this will naturally show you where the spot is, but you will feel it. It gets warmed a little bit and rubbed a little bit. It's getting activated. And then slowly you take your hand down again. And now it's easy to feel this spot because your hand was just up there. And then you sit there with closed eyes and you stay with your attention at that spot. That's it. And this you do for half an hour. Before you do this, before you start this, after you take your hand down, you speak a very short mantra. It's called the soul mantra. In English it goes like this: I am a holy soul. I am a pure soul. This mantra is repeated 3 times. And after that, you're quiet for half an hour. That's it. That's all there is to know about Samarpan meditation. And during this half an hour, you just rest in the crown chakra and you don't do anything. You don't think. You don't expect anything. You don't have to reach a certain state. You don't have to feel certain things. You just rest there. It's different every day. Then you will notice that you get distracted by thoughts. That doesn't matter. When you give attention to the thoughts and you notice it, just return to the crown chakra. No problem whatsoever. And then you ignore the thoughts again and you rest up there again. Sometimes you get distracted by your body. Your body aches or itches. And then you notice that you are with your attention in your body. And as soon as you notice, you return to the crown chakra. That easy. And basically this is it. Swamiji says, he talks about all kinds of things, but he stresses again and again, this is the only thing I bring, this meditation, this simple practice. Everything else you hear from me today about this meditation, everything you might hear or read from Swamiji about this meditation is secondary. This is the one thing we do. How you do it in detail, when you do it, I come to all of these things later. This is all secondary. The main thing is that you meditate every day. And this is how you do it for 30 minutes every day, alone. You sit in a room alone by yourself, if you can, and you meditate for half an hour, preferably first thing in the morning. And the regularity, that is important. That you do this half an hour of meditation alone every day, without exception. And then Swamiji recommends that you do a group meditation, if possible once a week, where you either meet with other people who also do the Samarpan meditation. In many bigger cities, there are meditation groups for the Samarpan meditation. Or if this is not possible for you, you can also join an online meditation. There are many online meditations for the Samarpan meditation. And also for this, I share all the links with you on my website, on the Samarpan meditation page. And that's it. Yeah, I described to you how the meditation is being done, and you do it every day for half an hour alone, and you do it once a week in a group, on-site or online. And when you meditate alone, it's easy to rest in yourself, and you gain very quickly, you gain a strength of your awareness. Your consciousness becomes stronger. Swamiji calls this the chitta, your inner awareness. He calls the chitta also the eyes of the soul, your inner eye. But when this awareness, when this consciousness grows and becomes stronger, it's also important that you need to be able, that you are able to control this, that you know what you do with it. And this is something you learn when you participate in a group meditation, because then you are distracted by all these other people. Some people might irritate you, or you think, oh, what do they think about me? Or you think about them. It disturbs your meditation, and this gives you another kind of strength. And both is important. This daily meditation alone, and once in a while, if possible once a week, this group meditation, where you join in a group of many other people meditating. And that's it. The amazing thing about this meditation is that there are no rules, there are no prerequisites you need to fulfill. You don't have to become a good person. You don't have to stop smoking or drinking in order to meditate. You don't have to join a religion or a group. Nothing like this. You can just add this meditation to your life. And other than that, you continue living the way you do it. You don't have to change. Your life doesn't have to change. You just add this meditation. And everybody can do it. No matter whether you're a woman or a man, no matter what nationality, no matter what religion you belong to. This is all not important. This is a meditation for everybody. For normal people like you, like me. For people who live in society, with a job, with families, with children, with worries, with thoughts. Normal people. And when you do this meditation, this, for the first time in your life, brings you inwards, an insight which has nothing to do with your thoughts, your feelings. It's an insight you don't know. You believe you are this body, and you believe you are this life. But you're not. You are something else. You are something which is completely independent of this body. You are something which is not subject to birth and to death. But you don't know anything about this. And because you don't know anything about this, because of this, you live in fear and in tension. And through the Samarpan meditation, you meet your soul. You become able to perceive your true identity. Practically. I'm not talking about imaginations. I'm not talking about some esoteric mental things. You just start meditating. You don't think, you don't imagine anything. You don't want anything. But over time, you become more and more sensitive. And you change. And what happens through the meditation is that you come closer and closer to yourself. And more you are able to perceive your soul. Some people also call it God. And this changes everything. There you find what you were always looking for in your life. And everybody can do this. Every human being. That's why you are here. And about this I share in all of my videos. Yeah, so much about Samarpan meditation in general, about how you practically do it and why you do it. And now, for the rest of this video, I would like to share with you how I do all the details around it, how I practically integrate this meditation into my life, how I do it, where I do it, when I do it, and how all this came about. Yeah, and before I do this, let me remind you once again, this is really important. What I share with you are just the practical details about my life. You live your life according to yourself. Some things might inspire you, then try them out. Other things might not inspire you at all, then just forget them. They are not important. Nothing of what I say now is important, but it might be inspiring for you and helpful. I want to share with you 7 points about how I live Samarpan meditation practically. The first point is about the time when I do the meditation. I meditate as early in the morning as it is possible for me. My experience is that the earlier I meditate, the easier it is to fall into real meditation, the more beautiful it is, the more beneficial it is. Swamiji suggests that you do not meditate between 10 p.m. in the evening and 3:30 a.m. in the morning, because these night hours are not beneficial for meditation. But after 3:30 in the morning, we can meditate. And I tried out everything. And the earlier it is, the better it is for me. When I meditate at 4, it's amazing. It's easier and more beautiful than when I meditate at 6 or at 7. Because at 6 o'clock, my body is more awake, more attuned to start into the day, into activity. And all around me, where I live, people start waking up. They're getting active. Their minds get active. And then my meditation is different. But when I meditate at 5 or at 4, my mind is quieter and the world is quieter. And my meditation is much deeper and nicer. But I do not set an alarm. I don't set an alarm for 4 o'clock because just because my meditation is so nice at that time. No, this does not work for me in the long term. The way I do it is like this. I wake up in the morning without an alarm clock. I go to bed as early as I can in the evening. So my body gets all the sleep he needs, and then when the body wakes up by itself in the morning, then I meditate. And because I like to meditate as early as possible, I go to bed in the evening as early as possible. Practically, in my life, this means that I go to bed at 9:30. Sometimes I switch off the light at 9:30, sometimes I switch off the light at 10 o'clock. And my body, when I let my body sleep, when my body can take as much sleep as he wants, he sleeps for about 7.5 hours. So when I switch off the light at 9:30 and fall asleep then, I wake up around 5 o'clock, maybe a few minutes later. If I fall asleep at 10 o'clock, then I sleep until 5:30 or 5:45. So it's very simple. When I want to wake up at 4, I need to go to bed at 8:30. But this I don't manage. For me, it's important that it fits somehow practically into my life. Yeah? If I stress myself in order to meditate earlier, then this doesn't help my meditation. Yeah, it all needs to fit easy and naturally. If I would live alone, I could go to bed at 8:30. But I don't live alone. I live with my partner and her 2 kids. And just the rhythm we have together with dinner and going to bed means that usually I make it to bed at 9:30. That's why I usually meditate between 5 or start my meditation between 5 and 5:30, something like this. Yeah, that's how I handle the meditation time. And Swamiji says, meditate as early as you can, but if this is not possible for you, don't worry about it. If you can't meditate in the morning, meditate at noon. If you can't do this, meditate in the afternoon. If you don't manage this, meditate in the evening. The important thing is that you meditate. But I'm very practical. I'm very pragmatic, If I take this half an hour of my day to meditate, I want to do it at a time where it's most beneficial and most beautiful. So I do it early in the morning. You do it the way it works for you. And if you want, experiment with it. Yeah? Experiment how it is for you when you meditate in the afternoon. And then experiment with it when you have the opportunity to do so, how it is when you do it in the morning. And then you make your own experiences. And this will lead to your personal way of meditating. My own experience is that with every hour I meditate later, my meditation is a little bit more shallow, a little bit more noisy. But, for me the most important thing is that it happens naturally. I can't go into any ideas and think, I must now do it so I can meditate at this and this time. This stresses me. This is counterproductive for me. And this means that sometimes I have phases where I go to bed a little bit later, maybe at 10:30, out of practical reasons. For a while I think, this is important, I need to take care of this, and then I just do it. And then I notice how I sleep longer, I notice how my day starts later, I notice how I meditate later, and what that means. And then naturally, I get the desire and the lust to change this again, slowly, step by step. And then starts a phase again where I meditate earlier because I go to bed earlier. And in this way I experience the one way and the other way, and it switches from time to time. So there's never a need to be rigid with yourself. I believe the more gentle I can be with myself, the more natural I can let all this learning, all this experiencing happen, the better it is for me and for my meditation. So no rules, just learning and trying out and then doing what's nicest and what's best for you. You find your own way. There are people who tell me, I can't meditate in the morning. I just can't. No problem. As long as you meditate at some time during the day, you're totally fine. The second point I want to share about my meditation life is that I meditate, that my meditation is the first thing I do during the day. This is different than the time. It just means I don't do anything beforehand. I get up, I wake up in bed, I get up. The one thing I do is I make a stop at the toilet, for 1 minute, and then I immediately go to my meditation place. I meditate at the same place every day, and I sit down and I meditate. I don't do anything in between. I don't go to the kitchen and drink water or eat something. I don't check my emails. I don't open my mail. I don't talk to anybody. Nothing like this. I like it like this. I like to start my day with the important thing, and that is turning inwards, meditating. And by making this a priority, by making this the first thing I want to do, it does something to me. It does something to my mind. It makes it practically clear to my being, to my mind, and to my body, this is important, nothing else. And, everything I do after I meditated benefits from the meditation, because then I am in a different state. I'm rested in myself, I'm focused, and I'm totally centered in my being. Everything I do then is better, easier. Every work I do later is better, more focused, more concentrated. Every interaction I have with people is more pleasant, more loving, more personal. So again, since I spent this half an hour of meditation time anyway, I do it first thing, because then everything I do during this day later will benefit. I'm just an engineer. I try to optimize things all the time. Yeah. So when I begin my day, the first thing I do is I meditate. And I do this no matter where I am. At home, when I'm traveling, no matter where I sleep, that's what I do. I meditate, and then the day starts. And then you have a different day. Maybe you want to try this. The third point I want to share is how I sit during meditation. When I described how the meditation is being done practically, earlier at the beginning of this video, I told you that Swamiji suggests that you sit down on the floor, on the ground. But if you are not able to do this, you just sit on a chair. And this is a very interesting point for me. I live in a body which has been stiff for all of his life. I was never a sports person. When I was a child and a young adult, I never did any sports. I didn't have any affinity with sports. One could say I didn't really live in my body. I didn't really have any connection with my body. I was kind of a head person. So this body became stiff early on. And when I came to Samarpan Meditation 7.5 years ago, this body was all 54, 55. And this body was so stiff, I was not able to sit on the ground. I was simply not able to do this. And when I started the meditation, I tried to sit on the ground, but I was just in pain. I couldn't do this. So I just sit on a chair. But then, a few months later, a few months after I started the meditation, I heard a discourse by Swamiji where he said something. He said, everybody can sit on the ground to meditate. No matter how old you are, even if you are a 90-year-old woman, you can do this. And he said, if you believe you cannot do this, you are lying to yourself. And somehow this got me. I repeat, Swamiji says the only important thing is that you meditate. Nothing else is important. It's not important that you do it in the right posture or at the right time. All of these things are secondary. But from time to time, he shares about things which are helpful for meditation. They are optional for you to choose, so to speak. And that was one of those things. I have never heard him say this statement ever again. But this one time he said it, I heard it. I thought, if a 90-year-old woman can learn this, I can learn this too. And I had the energy for it. It wasn't that I felt wrong, oh, I cannot do this is bad. No, this is not how I heard it. I heard him speak about this, and it was like, oh wow, I want to do this too. I want to learn this. It had energy for me. There was joy involved with this. I couldn't do it. When I tried, it was so painful, I just couldn't do it. My body was too stiff. But I knew this is for me. I didn't know why. Maybe in my past life I was sitting in a lotus posture all my life. I don't know. I think this is true, actually. But I had resonance with the statement. So I started learning this. I started to learn step by step to sit on the ground. First, I bought some meditation stools, these tiny little wooden constructions where you can sit with your bum a little bit elevated, so it's easier to cross the legs in front of the body. I tried these things, and they helped me a little bit. But they didn't feel nice. I knew this is not the way I want to do it. And I tried several of these constructions, but I discarded them. And at the end, I just sat on the floor in pain because I wanted to learn it. And then it only took a few months, and I was able to sit on the floor, cross-legged, not in a full lotus, just in a half lotus position. But I was able to do it, and it felt so good. It felt so natural, so easy to sit like this doing meditation. The base chakra and the whole pelvis is sitting on the ground. It's easy for the spine to erect. I just love it. And now I sit like this everywhere. I sit here when I do videos. I sit cross-legged. When I work on the computer, I sit cross-legged. Not all the time. Sometimes I sit normal for a few minutes. Then I sit cross-legged again. And you see this also here in the video. Sometimes I change the position of my legs so they don't fall asleep. So it only took a few months for me, for this totally stiff body, to learn what Swamiji was talking about. And since then, I enjoyed so much. To be honest, it took about a year until I was really comfortable in this position. And now, my body, year by year, grows more muscles to sit like this. And year by year, it's getting even more easy and more natural and more pleasant to sit like this. So this is how I sit doing meditation. And it's lovely. It's the most comfortable way of sitting for me by now. And I only share this with you to inspire you, if you have resonance with it. If not, forget it. Then something else is for you. Yeah, that was the third point, how I sit doing meditation. The fourth point is about the time, how long I meditate. Swamiji says 30 minutes every day. That's what I do. I meditate 30 minutes every day. But I don't set an alarm. I don't have a clock which rings an alarm after 30 minutes to remind me that meditation time is over. I tried this, and I tried many ways. You know, with modern handies, you can choose your alarm sounds. So I chose a nice little gong or something like this to gently bring me back from meditation. But somehow I never liked these things. And the way I do it these days is I take my handy and I start a timer. When I start the meditation, I start the timer. So the timer counts the time I'm already meditating. Then I close my eyes and I meditate. And when I have the feeling, oh, now that meditation time is over, I open my eyes and look at the display of my handy, which is on the floor in front of me. And then I see, oh, okay, 33 minutes. Good. It's time to stop. And it's amazing when you do it like this, in a very short time, you get a very good feeling for this half an hour. And I like this much better this way. You know, my experience is, it's like with sleep. Yeah, I shared with you earlier that I don't set an alarm to wake up at a certain time, but I rather go to bed at the right time, so I know when I will wake up, when the body will wake up by itself, because sleep happens in rhythms, and when you let the body wake up naturally, it wakes up at the right time of the sleeping rhythm, and then you feel good. But when you use an alarm, you wake the body up no matter where the body is in the sleeping cycle, and then sometimes you get out of deep sleep and you are totally derailed when you wake up. And in a way, I experience it the same way in meditation. I experience that meditation proceeds in waves. Yeah, during this half an hour, meditation becomes deeper and deeper and deeper, but it goes in waves. And for instance, sometimes I think, meditation time is over. I look at the display and I see, oh no, it's only 27 minutes past. I close my eyes again, just to sink back into meditation for these 3 minutes. And the next time I remember to think about time, where I have the feeling, now the time is over, I open my eyes again and I see Now it's 35 minutes. So I was gone in meditation for another 8 minutes. And I experience it this way often, that I sink back into meditation, and then naturally, after some time, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't know, there's a natural time where some part of my being remembers, oh, we could check time again. And then it's a natural way to end meditation. And I like it like this. And that's why I don't use an alarm clock for my meditation time, but a timer. And I always make sure that I meditate 30 minutes. If I open my eyes and the timer says 29 minutes and 15 seconds, I close my eyes again. I'm radical. I want this body to know, and I want this mind to know, we sit for 30 minutes. No exceptions, no compromise, no shortcut. Somehow I think this is helpful for me. But I also don't meditate longer. I don't mind if it's 35 minutes. As I just explained to you, there is this natural rhythm in meditation. And then when I come back naturally and I notice, 35 minutes, then I stop. But I don't try to meditate as long as possible. There was a time when I did Samarpan meditation where I enjoyed meditating so much that I tried to meditate as long as possible. And it's lovely. It's lovely to meditate 45 minutes or an hour. And when that happens by itself, without me planning it, it's totally fine. Then I'm just completely surprised where the time went. But when I try this, when I think it's better when I meditate longer, then this is not meditation. Then it's a sport. And there was a time in my life where I noticed that this is what was happening. The longer I meditated, the prouder I was. I meditate so long. I'm sure this is a good sign. Some thoughts like this were happening. And then I noticed one moment, what am I doing here? This is like an ego trip. And then I remembered Swamiji's instruction, 30 minutes. And it's interesting. Then I made the decision, I meditate 30 minutes, not shorter, but also not longer. And this did two things. I valued these 30 minutes more. When I try to extend the meditation time longer and longer and longer, I noticed that I got sloppy in the beginning. I wasn't so focused on really meditating and ignoring the thoughts in the beginning. I was sloppy because somehow I knew, then I can meditate longer at the end. But this sabotaged the quality of my meditation. Now that I limit my meditation time to 30 minutes more, or a few minutes more, now I start meditating and I want to use every second of it from the very beginning because I know it's limited. And this is good for my meditation. And the second thing which happens out of this is that I trust. I trust that this is enough. Swamiji says 30 minutes is enough. This will change your whole day. And that I trust. Before, when I tried to meditate longer and longer and longer, there was this underlying attitude of the mind. Life is a problem and meditation is the real thing. But this is not true. Meditation is a tool, formal meditation, to sit down and close your eyes and go inward, is a tool. So then you can learn to live your life in a different way. So now, when I open my eyes and I see, 32 minutes have passed, I stop. No matter how lovely I feel, no matter how beautiful the meditation was, I just want to go back. No, I don't. I bring this into the day. With this energy, I start the day, and I trust and I know this is enough. This will carry me. And this fosters surrender. This fosters trust in life. Yeah, that's how I do it with the length of the meditation. I never do it less than 30 minutes. And as soon as I return from meditation and I see 30 minutes have passed, I stop. Yeah, and I love it like this. And my everyday life, everything I do becomes more and more meditative, more and more quiet, more and more holy. Yeah. So that was the fourth point. I made some notes. I forgot what the fifth point was. Yeah. The fifth point is very important. When you meditate, you don't want to judge your meditation. That means I don't think about that meditation was good, that meditation was bad, there I did it good, there I did it not good. I don't do this. This is not good. Swamiji says, don't judge your meditation. It's not your business. He says, you don't have any say in this. If you had a lovely meditation, it's not because you did something good. It's a gift. It's not your merit. If you have a difficult meditation, a meditation you don't appreciate so much because you were thinking a lot, it's not your fault. It has nothing to do with you. It's also a gift, an opportunity to learn to return again and again and again, and an opportunity to learn to be stubborn and gentle with yourself. So I don't ever think about how my meditation was. And that also means I don't remember past meditations. I don't sit down for meditation thinking, I want to meditate like yesterday. This was so beautiful. No. I don't remember anything about yesterday's meditation, and I forgot everything about this morning's meditation. So I don't judge the meditation in any way. And Swamiji helps us with this because it's such an important point. He says, donate these 30 minutes of your daily meditation to me. And that means you gave these 30 minutes away, and it's not your business. You don't have any say in what happens during these 30 minutes. It's Swamiji's business. It's his responsibility. So if you have a beautiful experience during these 30 minutes, it has nothing to do with you. It's Swamiji. If you have a not so nice experience during these 30 minutes, one you rather would not have, has nothing to do with you. It's not your fault. It's Swamiji's doing. And in this way, it helps to not judge the meditation. Neither in when it's good, nor when it's bad. And if you don't resonate with Swamiji because he's not your guru, it doesn't matter. Choose somebody else. Choose God. Yeah? Donate these 30 minutes to God or to life or to Jesus. Whatever you have resonance with. It's just not your business. how the meditation is. You are in no position to know how good your meditation is. My personal experience is that often I had meditations which were difficult for me because there was so much mental activity. It required me to be so determined, so gentle with myself, so persistent with my gentleness, to return to myself and to the crown chakra again and again, and to ignore these stubborn and important-looking thoughts again and again and again, and to not judge myself again and again and again. And after those meditations, sometimes I felt particularly well afterwards. So who can understand this? I can't. Yeah. So this was the 5th point. Don't judge the meditation, and don't judge how you meditate. It has nothing to do with you, honestly. And the 6th point is equally important. I don't have any expectations about the meditation. This means 2 things. The one thing, I don't expect anything out of these 30 minutes. I don't sit down to reach a certain state. I don't sit down to have a particularly beautiful experience. I sit down because I know this is what I want to do. It's the time for this now. I know this is good for me, no matter how I experience it. So I have no expectations. This is important. If you have any expectations what will happen during, or what should happen during these 30 minutes, then you cannot meditate. You will be in your thoughts. But I also don't have any expectations in a bigger picture. I don't expect to see any outcome. Meditation is changing you, and is changing your life profoundly, forever, in ways you cannot imagine. But mostly, you cannot see it. It's like the change is so slow, so subtle, so basic, so profound, that you cannot notice it. You are being transported in a completely different life, but it happens so slowly and so naturally and so much by itself that only very rarely do you get glimpses of it. So I don't expect anything. I don't expect any change. I don't expect any betterment in my life. Nothing like this. And this is difficult for many people. Because you start meditating, because you know it's good. You start meditating because you know this will solve all of my problems. You start meditating because you know this will bring me to heaven. But then, to meditate without expectations, that's the trick. It's like you start out on a long journey. You know this is my way. You know this is what I want to do. And then you start. And you walk every day. And you forget where you're going. You just know this is my way. I go this way. And that's a kind of how meditation is. You have a clear knowing, this is the way. This is how I will live from now on. But then you are on the way and you forget. You forget where you are going, and you must forget it You cannot think about the goal. You cannot see it. You don't know anything about it. All you do, all what you know is the task at hand. Every day, one step. Every day, one meditation. That's all you know. And that's what you're doing. And this is the one difficulty many people have. And then from time to time you can experience how your life is changing. And it's magic when you experience this. But then you forget again. And that's why I make videos, to remind you again and again. And then you hear me speak, and then you remember, yeah, I know. This is true. And then you can go on without any expectations. It's a kind of a paradox, you know. You know that this is the right thing for you to do. You just know. But you don't know why. And you resist the urge to look for proof. You just trust your own knowing. You know this is the way I meditate. You know, meditation is like Samarpan meditation. The name Samarpan means surrender. Basically, it means what Jesus was talking about. God, your life, not mine. Your will be done, not mine. You give up wishes and ideas about life. It's like you start being where you are instead of being where you, in your head, thinking about where you want to be. And when you begin this, this is what you do during Samarpan meditation. You ignore your thoughts and with ignoring your thoughts, you ignore all of your ideas and your wishes and your expectations, because this is all thought. When you do this, then you arrive here in this moment. And when you are here, then for the first time in your life, you experience what is here. And then you discover the riches you live in. You become thankful. You become content. You start feeling like a king when you start living in the moment. Because there you notice the gifts you have all the time. And now the paradox of life is that when you are here in the moment without any expectations, then you notice how blessed you are. And you become thankful. And you have even less expectations. You are even more here. And because you are more here, you can even see more of the miracles which are already happening in your life now. And so on. It's like when you start living like this, it becomes more and more and deeper and deeper. But when you live in expectations, when you live with wishes, you are not here. You don't see what's already here, but you live in the future. And then you don't notice what's here, because you live in the future. So you feel like a beggar. you feel like something is lacking. And the more you feel like this, the more you live in the future and in your wishes and in your demands towards life. And you can even less see what's here. And also this is reinforcing itself. It gets more and more. So you get more and more beggar-like. There's one saying from Jesus which I did not understand in the past. He said, "Those who have, those will be given. And those who don't have, everything will be taken away from them." And this is something I didn't understand. Why does God give those who already have? And why does God take away from those who are already poor? But this, what I just described to you when I talked about having no expectations, this explains what Jesus was talking about. Jesus always talked about the inner world. And it is like this. When you live in the moment, without thoughts, without expectations, there you experience the moment. There you experience what's here. And you feel rich. You feel so content. You don't even know what you should wish for because you are just so blessed. And when you are like this, it reinforces itself. You are more here because out of your contentment, out of your being here-ness, you have even less expectations. You are even more here, and you notice more and more the magic of this life. But when you feel poor, when you feel lacking, when you are not here but in your thoughts, because you are in your wishes and your expectations and your hopes and your dreams, then you're in the future. And then you cannot see what's here. And then you are discontent. And you become more and more discontent. The more you are in your mind, the more you are in the future. That's what Jesus was talking about. And that's the secret of meditation. When you meditate, you have the tool in your hand to come here, to live without expectations. And that does all the magic. And that's why you cannot meditate with expectation. If you have expectations, you don't meditate. Just remember this. And that's how I do it. This is the one blessing in my life which I find so amazing. I never had expectations. I never had expectations about this life at all, even when I was very young. And that's why everything was so easy for me. Because I never expected anything. And I was given more and more and more, just like Jesus was talking about. And then the meditation came into my life. And I had no expectations. And I got even more and more and more. So when you meditate, when you start meditating, stop expecting. You pick up the meditation, and with this you know everything will be taken care of. I don't have to know anything about it. I don't have to think about it ever again. This is my advice to you. That's how I do it. I don't expect anything. And yet, and now you know, because of this, life becomes more and more. I don't even know how this is possible. So that was point 6. Don't expect anything. doing the meditation. And don't expect anything out of meditation in your life. The meditation is the tool for you to live without thoughts and without expectations. And this is how you proceed. This is how you enter heaven. And now let's come to the seventh point. The seventh point is new for me too. Just recently, I think about 3 weeks ago, or maybe 4 weeks ago now, Swamiji introduced us to a new meditation exercise. Like every year, Swamiji spent 7 weeks in the beginning of the year in total retreat. This time is called Anushthan. He calls it the deep meditation practicum. And during these 7 weeks, he's totally withdrawn from everybody and he's just meditating. And during this time of this deep meditation practicum, he experimented with a new exercise. And he shared this exercise with us in his first discourse, in his Mahashivratri discourse, after his Anushthan time of this year. And there's a short video from him about this. I have linked it on my website. When you go on my website to the Samarpan Meditation page, there you will find the video I'm talking about. And this exercise is very simple, but it changed my meditation. It's really amazing. I want to briefly tell you how this exercise is being done, but I encourage you to watch the video. The video has English subtitles. I think it's even translated with voice in English. I'm not sure right now. So you just sit, you kneel on the ground, on the floor, and then you do what the Indians call namaskar. It's like a surrender pose. When you kneel on the ground, you take your hands, you fold your hands like this up there over your head, and then you bow down to the front, onto the ground. And then you stretch out on the ground with the full length of your body. So your entire body is stretched out on the ground, belly down, face down, and your folded palms stretch out as far forward as you can, and your feet stretch backward with the bottom of your feet facing upwards. And when you do this, then you feel how the subtle body, the energy body, is standing right in front of you. And you stretch your arms, your hands towards the subtle body. And then, when you feel this subtle body standing in front of you, you slowly open your palms. While you are stretched out like this, face down, you open your palms like this, and you receive the energy and the consciousness of the subtle body. And for me, it is like this. When I do this, I feel this consciousness flowing into me through the hands, but simultaneously through the crown chakra, and then after a while, also through the feet and through the entire spine. And then I lay there, and it's like all of my thoughts, I'm completely being emptied into the ground. It's an amazing experience. And then after a few minutes, I notice how the chakras are being affected and relaxed. One chakra after the other is being relaxed. And it's almost like my body dissolves. It's almost like I lose the connection to my body. And I'm just resting in my crown chakra, and all the thoughts are gone. And then you're done with this, you sit back up, you're on your knees, on your legs, and then you take your energized hands, put them onto your eyes like this for a moment, and then you take the energized hands and put them on the crown chakra like this. And that's it. And I just repeated this very briefly for you here, but watch Swamiji's video. There you can see it. It's very simple. And you can hear his own voice and the English translation. And I do this amazing exercise now before I do the Samarpan meditation in the morning. I do this for a few minutes. I actually don't know how long. I didn't hear Swamiji talk about a duration time, but I do it as long as I want, and I cannot tell you how long I do it, because so far I never ever remembered to check the time when I did this. I guess I do it 5 minutes, maybe 10, I don't know. But at some point it's like, okay, I'm so thankful, and then I close my palms again and I return back to a sitting position on my legs, and then I start the Samarpan meditation. This is what I do in the morning. So I add this simple exercise before I start the regular meditation. Also, when I attend a group meditation, I do this beforehand. And I do this exercise at the very end of the day before I fall asleep. When I already lay in bed, I don't have a normal bed. I lay on the ground when I sleep. I just have a few woolen blankets underneath me. I like to sleep on the hard floor. So I have a lot of space. So I can stretch out really long. For me, this is not a problem in bed. Maybe if you want to do this before you fall asleep, maybe you want to do it in front of the bed on the ground. And then I do this there too. And then I lay there and I'm being completely emptied before I fall asleep. And this affects my sleep. I love it. So I end my day like this and I start my day like this. And I started the meditation with this. And what can I say? You know, this is totally new for me too. I do it now since a few weeks. But I must say it changed my meditation and it again changes my life. They say that 7 is a magic number. And I completed 7 years of Samarpan meditation in last October. And now, after these 7 years, this exercise comes to me, also from Swamiji, and I have the feeling something new starts. Because when I do this exercise before of my meditation, it's, before it was like this. I do the Samarpan meditation, and in the beginning my mind is rather active, and it takes quite a while until my inside calms down. I become empty and quiet. And then the last 15 minutes or the last 10 minutes, it's different every day. I'm really quiet and meditating. But now, since I do this exercise before I start meditating, it's like I'm empty from the beginning. It's like I'm meditating half an hour. It's amazing. And you might wonder, what is Swamiji talking about this? He says, you feel the subtle body standing in front of you. He often says, don't focus on me, on his body, but on my subtle body, on his energy body. It's about the energy flowing through him, not about the human being, not about the person, not about the flesh of the body. So in the beginning for me it was like, this is Swamiji's subtle body right in front of me. And it really, Samarpan meditation is not about imagining anything. It's not about creating some illusion. It's only about experience. So when I stretch down like this, I feel this energy body in front of me. Although I cannot explain to you what it is. I just feel it. Now you can call this the energy body of Swamiji. But I don't know the difference. Is this my soul standing in front of me? Is this my subtle body? Is this God? I don't know. Earlier, when I started this video, I stretched down on the ground like this, and for a few minutes I meditated. I had the feeling. I open my palms, and God is standing there. It doesn't matter how you call it. It's just that you experience this. And Samarpan meditation is the path of your own inner experience. And then it's like real. And for me this means it's so much easier now to feel the presence of my soul right in front of me. Or if you want, God is walking in front of me all the time. And this changes everything again. That's how I experienced this new exercise Swamiji brought a few weeks ago. But I also want to add something to this. And this is very important. In the beginning of this video, I told you that don't compare. It's only about your experience. Now, when I described my experience in this exercise, I used very strong words, very profound words. When you do this exercise, if you feel like it, maybe you have another experience. But don't compare to my experience. Just meditate every day. Do your daily step every day. And you will have your experiences, all of them, as time passes. I want to share with you something I saw yesterday in a video, just by pure accident. I'm sure there are no accidents. These informations come to me always exactly at the right time. I was watching a video, a very brief video, from a scientist, a lady who studies the development of the human brain. And what she shared is amazing. She said that scientists used to believe that the human brain is basically done with its development in the early childhood stages. And that later in adult life, the brain does not change and cannot change. And they also believe that, for instance, brain cells which die cannot be replaced. And she said in this video that today scientists discover that this is not true at all. And that quite the contrary, the brain is evolving constantly based on our experiences. So whatever you experience, this causes changes in your brain, changes in your abilities, changes in your perception, changes in your being. Every experience, every learning changes your brain. The brain reorganizes itself constantly. There have been studies on people who had severe brain damage, where certain areas of the brain were dead. Areas which were responsible for certain functions of the body. And then people couldn't talk anymore or couldn't use a part of their body anymore. But then scientists start to observe that when these people get certain exercises and certain rehabilitation techniques applied, then the brain of these people reorganizes. Other still functioning areas of the brain take over functions they have never done before. The brain changes. The structure changes. It reorganizes itself, and people start learning these things again. It just takes time. And this is also the secret of meditation. Now, before I want to go into this, I want to give you another example which I experienced myself. You know, when I came to my spiritual master 25 years ago, I'm an engineer, I'm a technician, so I started in his satsangs to take care of the technical side of his satsangs. I started taking care of the sound system, I started taking care of the live music there, I organized equipment, I built equipment, and I took care of the sound. I mixed the music, I created music CDs, and so on. So I started spending a lot of time listening to sound, trying to improve the sound, trying to listen really closely. And during this time, I met a musician, a world-famous musician. He's famous all over the world. And he invited me to his studio, and he showed me sound experiments he's doing there. And it was amazing because he was such a subtle guy. He had such a fine ear, and he showed me sound effects and sound subtleties I could not hear. He could hear them, but I couldn't. But not because my ears are bad. My ears are fine. But he explained it to me. He said, you know, I'm doing this since I'm a child. My brain is different than yours. He said, because I apply all of my attention and all of my enthusiasm and joy to this area which has to do with my ears, my hearing is different. In my brain, much larger areas are assigned to hearing than in your brain. And that's why I can hear things you cannot hear at all. And that touched me. And then I was working in the field of audio, in the satsangs of my spiritual master, for over 20 years. And after 10 or 15 years, I noticed how I heard so much more than other people. I could hear so much more than the musicians making the music. I heard all the subtleties in the sound, in the satsang. That's why I could improve it. But other people couldn't hear these differences. I could, because my brain had adjusted. My brain had developed in that area. Now, with meditation, it is the same. When we talk about, you meditate to discover your true identity. You are not this body, as I told you in the beginning. You are a soul, but you don't know what it is. And you don't know what this is because you cannot experience it. Soul is something very subtle. Heaven is something very subtle. God is something very, very subtle. Now, when you start meditating, you become quiet. You become very, very empty. And when you do this every day, you become more sensitive. You become more subtle. Your inner senses start developing every day. Just by you giving your attention to this subtle part of your being here. This ability to experience this, the ability to perceive these subtleties increase. It's like every day your brain reorganizes a little bit more towards this. And this is the reason why it takes time. There is no problem whatsoever. You will experience God. You will experience your soul. It's only a matter of time. And that's why you need to start now meditating. And that's why you need to do it every day. Because if you don't do this every day, your brain will develop in the other way again. Yeah? That's why this consistency is so important. That's why time is important. All you need is patience. Not this kind of patience where you wait for something, but this patience which I rather should call stubbornness. You meditate every day, even when you can't feel anything, because you know this will bring me there. Jesus, he could see God, not with these eyes, but with his inner eye, with his consciousness. I can see God. I can see the subtle body, not with these eyes. But I experience it because I have become more subtle than I've ever been before. And you can do too. It's just a matter of time. There's no hurry. Just use every day by meditating every day. And I just started talking about this after I described this 7th point to you, this new exercise from Swamiji. Since I have the feeling that this exercise came into my life now because now I'm ready for it. Now I can feel this. A few years ago, I would not have been able to feel this, but now I can. And that's why I talk to you about this now. If I speak about things which I experience today, but you cannot experience today, don't worry. It's only a matter of time. Just meditate. It will all come to you. It's nothing exclusive to me or to anybody else. It's normal that you will come to this point yourself too. Yeah. Yeah, when you meditate every day, it's like you begin to start seeing. It's not that you have to do a long journey to reach into a faraway heaven. It's not that you have to search the whole world in order to find God somewhere in a remote corner of this planet or of this universe. Heaven is here. You live in heaven. But all you see is hell. God is here, right in front of you. But you cannot see him. It's only a matter of learning to see it. And it's a natural way. You just have to become quiet, subtle, sensitive. And the path is meditation. And that changes everything. It just takes a little bit of time. Yeah, so much this first video about the meditation in my life. And if there were some points where you feel resonance with, maybe you want to try them out yourself in your life. But you find your own way. Live your life. that leads you to your goal. I promise you. And there's one aspect I want to share with you at the end. You know, it's like you start with a meditation because you want to improve your life. Many people come to the meditation because they experience problems in their life and they don't know how to deal with them. They look for a way to solve their problems. They look for a way to improve their life. And that is fine. This is how life brings you to meditation. It's like that's the beginning of meditation. And then you meditate, and over time, all of your problems disappear. Your practical life starts changing, and those things which are a problem for you and which don't change, they still are no problem for you anymore because you changed. It's amazing. But then you keep meditating. And you begin to find in yourself that what you were always looking for out there in the world, in your practical life. I just shared with you that now I can perceive the subtle body, my soul, God, right here, right in front of me. There is no greater satisfaction than this. But this I find in meditation. In the beginning, meditation is a tool to solve a problem. And then you meditate. And then you experience that in meditation, it's so lovely, so beautiful. And slowly, slowly, your entire life becomes meditative. Not only this half an hour. You begin to experience these things everywhere in your life because you become meditation. And then at some point you realize meditation is the end. Meditation is the goal. God is in meditation. All I need is become meditative and God is there. Whether I sit somewhere cross-legged or whether I work or whether I take a walk. Meditation is the beginning. It's what teaches you to go on the path. But the longer you walk, the more you realize meditation is the goal. Meditation is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Meditation is the door which brings you to heaven, and meditation is heaven. I'm so happy that you are here. I love you.